This
Wanna
is the Sports Timeout Podcast with Jensen Maydew,
Jersey,
Tony
ride or
Carranco,
die, we'll get
and
covered
your
in a
host,
magazine.
Wes
Ain't it funny?
Underwood.
Rumors fly. Now they know you won, Kelsey. So hey, let's be friends. Dying to see how this one ends. Grab your sweet pass and take my hand. I just made you cheer for the Chiefs this weekend. So it's gonna be forever. Touchdown! Or it's gonna go down in flames. You can tell me when it's over. If you had fun at my games, take a look at all my records. They'll be in the Hall of Fame. Did you know I love my teammates?
And yeah, these were some of the Ghetto Tacos sights and sounds from this last weekend. And yeah, welcome into the Sports Timeout Podcast, brought to you by Jefferson's, Robert's Integrative Dentistry, and Joplin. Go check out Robert's Integrative Dentistry if you're in the need for a brighter, straighter smile. Yeah, get your appointment today at 417-622-0404. Wes Underwood, along with Jensen and Clint. Tony's, I guess, out, guys. I said he was in. I don't know where he's
getting
at.
a brighter smile at Robert's Integrative Dentistry.
He might be. He could have been sedated,
Late.
got home, and had some teeth
well, that's
pulled.
true.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But how are you guys doing?
I'm good. I'm glad to be back on the show. I've been gone for what, 2 weeks now?
Yeah, welcome back.
Yeah, and I got like a cool scar to show it.
Oh,
Yeah.
what is that from?
I had surgery,
Oh, okay.
so that's
okay.
why I've been out. Yeah, I got my rib removed. Pretty cool. That's my new fun fact.
Oh my gosh, that is a good fun fact. If this is like your first year of college in the class, it had to be a great one.
Yeah.
I'm a freshman and I just got my rib removed. And I've been gone way longer than 2 weeks, but I am back, and should be a great show. No matter who's here, it should be a good show.
It's true. And first up, though, we'll go ahead and talk Zeke. Nope, not my cousin. Zeke Elliott, New England Patriots now, not the Cowboys. But started seeing a little more production out in New England. But also the news this week is Dallas takes on New England. And when asked, Zeke said, I mean, I don't have that much time to be emotional. I've got to go prepare for a game. And then I've got to go out and put my best foot forward. Okay.
Can you say that slowly?
Yeah, I know. Go out and put it best foot forward. I mean, he's got a lot to digest here because I guess he said a lot with his little interview he did. And then he says, I mean, there are emotions. I may do a good job hiding them, but there will be some. I mean, y'all think he goes off like the Dolphins coach did against the Broncos? Or, I mean, yeah, I don't know. A normal game from him, or do you think he goes off?
What do you think, Jensen?
Oh, I mean, just like being a competitor and like knowing that you're playing your old team, I feel like he'll go off unless he like lets his head get the best of him. But usually I feel like he'll perform, in my opinion.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting. There'll probably be like the Cowboys' run game wasn't really that good last week.
Yeah.
And I mean, aside from Zeke, this in general, they just have, they have great running backs and a good offensive line. So it's probably not really a lot up to him. That's why there's kind of the whole running back debate. That's like, how much is Ezekiel Elliott really defining his game aside from just breaking tackles? Because it's really about your offensive line, play calling, especially against the Patriots defense. It's like so well at like taking out the run game and stuff. So probably not a lot of it's in his hands as much as he might want it to be. But I mean, I'm sure when you spend that long of time in one city, that's probably the part that's emotional. Like, oh, here I am at this place, but no one cares about me playing for the team anymore. So
Yeah.
we'll see. It also would just be weird for him probably that he's not like the star of the team. You know
It's
what
true.
I mean? Like it's not.
It's Coach
not
Belichick out there.
Yeah. I just realized I totally flipped the way you probably caught that. I was saying the Belichick defense. I forgot. Oh yeah, he's on the Patriots now. That's the whole point of this conversation.
Yeah.
So yeah, so now the Cowboys defense is a totally different thing, and they're the ones that flopped last week.
No
still
Micah Parsons.
All the points before that. That's true. But yeah.
Yeah. Next up, NFL, we talk the Jets and Aaron Rodgers, as Coach Salah says he has no problem with the veteran quarterback calling out his former players and fellow players, and says he's right, man. You can't blow up and show frustration on the sideline. I mean, he's right there. I mean, they take on these guys this week, Kansas City, and that's not a team you want to show frustration against. And we saw that in the Bears last week. I mean,
Yeah,
Taylor
exactly.
Swift up there cheering with them too. So
yeah, that's the only thing. Because initially, as the Chiefs fan part of me is because side note for the viewers, I'm also a Jets fan, but the Chiefs part of me is like this is a little bit similar to the Bears thing, where it's like we kind of caught the Jets at this weird time where it's like they might have been good, but now their quarterback has no confidence, like none, similar to Justin Fields. And internally there's some strife that not near as bad as the Bears were last week, but internally there's strife where it's like it just doesn't bode well against a well-organized team like the Chiefs, where you want to have a team like the Bengals or the Bills, so it's like everything's they have everything tight with their team, and then they can kind of so it'll be interesting. At first I was worried about this game because it's like our offense wasn't at its best, yet. And this is like one of the best defenses in the league. So even if Zach Wilson was bad, who knows if they have one good offensive drive, but the Jets stifle the Chiefs, then the Jets could still win this game. But all this, like there's in like Garrett Wilson, a receiver getting mad at Zach Wilson, that kind of stuff just does not bode well. So I'm leaning more towards like maybe it's not as a close game as I thought it would be.
Question: Trevor Siemian comes in. Do you think Wilson's just done?
I hope so. I got to be honest. I'm officially off. I was a staunch defender. I was like, look, he was in a weird college system. He had a terrible offensive line. He still has a terrible offensive line. But there comes a point where it's like, if you were meant to be a star, something would flash through. It can't keep being these games where you throw 3 interceptions and you lose by scoring 10 points. Like, well, technically he could have. So I'm just gone now. I've seen too many plays where somebody's wide open and he just gets flustered and throws it away. It's like, well, you just need. So if I saw like and sitting out tonight, Zach Wilson and Trevor Siemian starting for the Jets against the Chiefs, I would not be surprised, and probably a lot of Jets fans wouldn't be mad either. To be honest, you couldn't get much worse than scoring like 8 points a game. It's like, so we're going to score less touchdowns. We never score touchdowns. You might as well try putting Trevor Siemian in. So probably not this game, which again I think bodes well for the Chiefs. Spagnuolo is going to have a field day with Zach Wilson, poor guy. So we'll see what happens.
We will. Jensen, any thoughts to add?
No, that was amazing.
Yeah, I agree on that one. I don't have anything else to add to that either.
It's just too much with this my Jets connection, the Chiefs connection, that they're meeting at opposite times, where one team is going up and another team seems to be going down.
Yeah.
Moving on. We'll move over to the NCAA and we'll talk top 25 in general this week. I mean, man, it's an exciting week again. KU, Mizzou, back in the top 25 this year.
Yeah.
At the same time, it's been since Mark Mangino, and for KU, and that was a long time ago, back in 2010, 2011. I mean, that was the last time that Mizzou and KU were in the top 25 together, I believe.
Wow.
And so, and then Colorado just gets knocked out completely, like they didn't do anything. And then Fresno State's in. I don't get that over Colorado just being at 25. And then, that's a long shot, though. I mean, Washington State, though, as well. Duke. I mean, you guys like it this week, or should other teams be in there besides a few of them?
What do you think, Jensen?
Yeah, as he was going, I was like pulling it up.
I also think that like it does. There's this interesting thing where, aside from Colorado, there is always the thing with the rankings in the first 4 weeks where there's the teams that we thought were going to be good.
Yeah.
If they lose a game, we'll give them a little bit of a break, so they'll stay in the top 25. But
True.
if you're undefeated, then you get ranked higher than a team that might actually be better, but they lost. So that's what happened to Colorado, where they lost a game, and it's like, well, yeah, but Fresno State's undefeated, so we have to be fair and let them be ahead of you. But meanwhile, a team like LSU loses the game, and it's like, yeah, but they're LSU, so we have to put them above, and they're SEC, so that stuff's always going to be above like that. But I kind of like it. I feel like, as we saw last year, you never know with these teams where matchups wise. I mean, Ohio State was a missed field goal away from beating that Georgia team that looked like the best team ever.
Yeah.
You never know with these things. Now, that also might just be because CJ Stroud might just be a legit amazing quarterback, but that's a different discussion.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I think I like it for Mizzou just because they actually look well rounded.
Yeah,
And it says like, how long can we keep them both in the top 25? We'll see.
we shall see. Jensen.
Yeah, I don't like Mizzou or KU, so I'm gonna go with I don't like it this week.
Well, who's your team?
K-State.
Ah, are they not in the top 25?
Uh-uh.
They
Oh
got
no.
booted out last
Oh
week,
no.
but they're on the
So-
edge of getting back in. So
Okay, so it's
Yeah,
not
they
a
had
disaster.
57 votes is what this says.
see,
Okay.
and I'd rather have them over Fresno.
Yeah, exactly. That might be a little. That's another. Well, they're 4-0, so you have to.
Fresno makes it to undefeated, and they get in the top 4. I'd love to see that.
Yeah, there we go. Do like a Cincinnati thing, whenever.
But I am sad Colorado's not in there. Like, I feel like Colorado has just like gained so much like media
Yeah,
time.
exactly.
So
Like they deserve for the NCAA sake, they should be in the top 25. Like, we've added fans. I mean,
Right,
I
promote
watched that Colorado game. I have no interest in Colorado, so they should appreciate that. But I guess they have to appreciate Fresno State for being 4-0.
I guess
Fair.
so. Yeah. On that note, next up we head into the NBA and we talk the Blazers and be participating, or excuse me, parting ways. I read that wrong. With Damian Lillard.
Participating.
Yeah, participating ways,
If anything,
And,
they were very much not participating with his wishes. But go on.
Exactly. Gets traded to the Bucks though. I guess they're in participation with his demands though.
Yeah.
But yeah, Portland will get Drew Holiday, DeAndre Ayton, and Tarami Camera.
Yeah, he's the lesser of all of the players being. But
Well, if that isn't enough though, Milwaukee also sends an unprotected 2029 first round pick.
mhm.
It's a ways away, but that's a lot. And
Yeah.
then they swap the rights for a pick in 2028. And then the Suns get Nurk, Grayson Allen, and Nasser Little and Keon Johnson. So,
Yeah.
but all of this after, like I said, Lillard requested a trade. I mean, you a fan of it? Jensen will go you, and then Clint.
Yeah, and I'm really happy honestly for him because last season was probably like the best season that he's had in the NBA,
Yeah.
arguably. So, I mean, it sucks for the Trailblazers to lose him when he's like it seems like peaking, but it'll be
Absolutely.
interesting to see like how they work him into the Bucks like system.
Yeah.
So it'll be a fun season to watch, I think, but I'm happy for him. Like it's about time he like goes somewhere where he can actually win some games.
Yeah. Exactly.
So
I feel like it feels like one of those. I mean, you guys, I guess, aren't like so. Like my sister's with the Bucks, so I have a little bit of connection to them. I feel like people outside of any kind of Bucks fandom probably don't have that much of like, oh, great, here comes a super team,
Yeah.
because it is just Milwaukee. You know what I mean? Like if it was like he went to the Lakers or something, it'd be much more like, oh my god. There's something about him going to this small Portland team that he was very dedicated to for a long time. And then now it's just time to move on. And he's going to another small market team that's already won a championship, but it's like they're much. So there's something about that kind of seems wholesome, where it's like it's two teams that kind of did it the right way, and they're bringing in Lillard, but he's older, and they're trying to win a championship. So it's not quite the like the Heatles of the the LeBron Heatles or anything like that, or the Warriors with Kevin Durant. And I just think it's great for. It made sense for the Blazers. It's not like they got gypped or anything. I do think if Lillard is as good as he can be,
Yeah.
then just sending one first round pick 6 years from now is a bargain for the Bucks.
True.
If he's not, if he keeps getting injured, then that's the risk you take. But I feel like remember how like I think Paul George got traded for like 5 first round picks and it's something crazy like that. So you think about if he's as good as he can be, then one first round pick 6 years from now. Basically, the Blazers are betting on, well, hopefully 6 years from now the Bucks won't be good anymore, and that will be a worthwhile pick. I'm guessing that was their mindset, was like, at least that's better than the Heat's offer, which is going to be 3 first round picks, and there's always going to be good. So it's just always going to be bad picks. Because in the NBA, it's not like NFL where it's like even a 3rd round pick is valuable. In the NBA, basically like the top 20 picks are the only thing that matter.
Yeah.
Everything after that is like the Nuggets, their first round pick this year is going to be worthless. It's like the 31st pick. You're not getting anybody. So I think in that case, one first round pick was worth it. And we'll see. And then obviously just for the team, They're lesser on defense because Drew Holiday's leaving, but they're just an absolute just scorched earth offensive
You
player.
stink and you stink and you stink. You good. You're good.
Yeah, I mean, just because they were already pretty loaded as a team with Drew Holiday.
Yeah.
And now you just add this guy who can score every game. It was a little like I watched every playoff game with the Bucks, and it was a little like as good as Giannis was, it was like it was almost like those Patriots teams from like the early 2000s where it's like every small little play mattered, like this little dunk here, this this small play, great defense, work really hard, get to it was like very low scoring games, and it was kind of hard to watch, and that's why they could if they weren't able to score points, they would lose a game to the Heat. Absolutely. And now it's like you need to have someone who can just like, you know what, I'm just going to score 9 points in 2 seconds because I'm just so good, and then Giannis can take care of everything else. And like I think it's, even if you think Drew now is as good as Dame Lillard, which I don't think is true, but if you thought that because of his defense, I think it's just it's a better fit for what they need, that they have a guy that can score while Giannis is doing everything else, literally everything else.
Yeah.
True.
But that's my diatribe. Just to put it to my sister and her friends were very excited, if that's any.
And on that, next up, we talk Sporting Kansas City and the current and their playoff hunt. Still alive for both of them. Huge win for Sporting. They are right at the doorstep of the playoffs. Polito, Leibold, both active. Leibold's still got the injury. Polito could play after the first few or play the first few. Depends on the match. I mean, they're going up against the number 1 team in the West in St. Louis. Great matchup so far. Series tied at 1 game apiece. I mean, this here is a must-win for Sporting with 2 games to go after this one. I think they can do it. They just need to strap in and not lose any games, obviously, and then they may be able to tie it and get 1, maybe have 1 tie in the mix, but they need all 9 remaining points if possible. And as for the current, they have 3 matches left, only 1 at home in that mix. They can't lose. They can't tie. They have to win out. I mean, they have Gotham tomorrow. It's going to be a tall task to win out, but I mean, Desi Scott's coming back. They call her the Destroyer for a reason. She's going to come in and she's going to wreak some havoc. She's been out on injury, but she can do it, and she's proven it in the past. And then she'll be back there, though. She'll be helping out in the midfield. Plenty of time off. Huge gain. This team looks solid against San Diego, where they really, pulled it together. And
have they been like way better in this second half than they were the first half of the season?
Yeah, they got a bunch of people coming back from injury. I mean, almost their entire starting lineup went out within the first couple of weeks, and
Jeez.
We had Alex Loera on here,
Laura
on here a couple of weeks ago, and I mean, she talked about her time off, and I mean, she was out for 10 weeks. She ended up with a foot fracture, and then
that doesn't help.
We had players rehabbing ACL injuries from last season, and then we had minor injuries, and then cup play happens and people get hurt there, and then you had international play where they go play for their country, and I mean, the list goes on and on of just all the impossible things to overcome, and I mean, they did well during that time.
Yeah.
And I can't complain for them. I mean, they've done fantastic at getting back in the race. It was a tough start. So was Sporting's. Sporting had a really rough start. And now we're talking playoffs for both of them after the starts that they both had. So it's crazy. It's crazy. But on that note, we will go ahead and head into the 2-minute warning brought to you by Hot Stone Pizzeria. And get on over there at 1515 West 10th Street in Joplin. And this weekend, if you're heading over there, they got some loaded spuds. Those things look phenomenal. Like, I mean, if you don't go get that, though, also try to get the burn-in sandwich before they're out of barbecue. This barbecue's so good, it's gone. So got to get over there first thing today and get it going. I mean, they'll probably be gone by tomorrow. So, but I'll be going for sure. Wish you guys could go too. I mean, just saying, it's great.
Yeah, I'd have to have it door dashed from LA, but that's probably not going to happen.
It would do it. I think the tip on that was $1,000 alone.
Yeah,
man.
yeah, I get
Good luck.
Yeah.
On that note, today we bring in local fighter Haven Pennington as she talks her fight in and outside of the ring. Check it out. And yeah, we bring in local MMA fighter Haven Pennington. How are you?
Good, doing well. How are you?
Oh, the week is at an end, and I'm happy about that. How about you?
Getting closer. It's not halfway over, so wait until that mark. But
Indeed.
yeah, definitely ready for Friday. That's for sure.
Yeah, yeah. And well, I'm gonna kind of introduce you here a little bit, and a lot of people who don't know who follow you. I mean, you kind of been going on a journey of your own. Can you kind of share that journey being diagnosed with cancer and how you managed to overcome it while pursuing your passion for MMA?
Yeah, so I had actually had a feeling. I fought last May, my first fight, and I'd been feeling sick months before that. And I'm the type that doesn't go to the doctors in the first place. I just push it off, and I'm like, I could be sick and dying, and I don't go. Well,
Yeah.
then I'm like, I can usually get kicked and I don't feel like I'm gonna throw up. But I started taking like teeps to the stomach. I'm like, yeah, something doesn't feel right. So I cut about 25 pounds for my fight in May. And
Mm,
I was like, my body's just weak from that probably. And I didn't
yeah.
cut it the right way. I cut it over the span of 3 months and did it the healthy way. And then I fought in May. And then about a couple weeks later, I was like, I was really swollen and I'm like, something's probably got to be wrong. So check that out. And I ended up having a big surgery and
Mm,
they removed one of my ovaries. And then so it was a pretty big, procedure. And so I still didn't feel very well. And, I actually, craziest thing is they called me 2 weeks later and they had said, it's not cancer. You're fine. Everything's okay. They called me the next week and they're like, we gave you the wrong results. You actually do have
Oh,
cancer.
oh
And I'm
man.
like, wow, how do you get that one wrong?
Yeah.
So I know what, but even for that last week, I was thinking, I don't know what else could be wrong. So I felt sick. And, so I went, had surgery in August, started chemo in September, actually about a year ago, over this last week, somewhere around there. And he was like, well, you kind of have to do chemo because and I ended up having to do the most aggressive one they have.
Oh
And he
man.
had told me from the moment. I mean, I remember sitting in that room and like, "You're an MMA fighter," and I was like, "Yep." He was like, "Well, you won't be any longer." He said, "Good luck.
Man.
Won't be able to work out. Won't be able to pursue your dream.
Yeah.
Do what you want to do. None of that." So, I took that and I ran with it, and I'm like, I'll end up pursue I'm sorry, Evan, but I'll end up achieving, and I'll work over and overcome everything that I'm going through. And I actually wanted to fight in December after that. And they're like, well, you can't because of chemo and your lungs will, give out and everything else. So it was just after someone tells you you can't do something, you push past it and you're like, well, I'm going to do it anyways. So I
Yeah.
think that was really the motivation and, the push for me was the fact that they told me I couldn't do it. So I wanted to do it.
And so
So
you kind of put your perspective there on that. So we'll go ahead and hop into the next one. Did you face any unique challenges during the recovery process, and how did you overcome them while staying committed to your MMA training?
I wish I could say that I have overcame all of them, but I still deal with like a lot of neuropathy because I had so much chemo in my system and it was such a heavy amount for a decent period of time. What happens is, and that's why he says, like, you'll probably never be able to do it again. Your body's going to be weak and swollen and your lungs, and I get like to the point, my hands are a little swollen now. Like I just got done practicing and I get my whole body like neuropathy. Like I can't feel my legs, can't feel my arms, my hands, or
Right.
any of that stuff. And I still have to push past that now, but it's really, I just remember sitting in that room, him going, you're not going to be able to do that. And I'm like, yes, I can. So I just can't let somebody tell me I can't. And, the whole time I was sick and I was training with Ryan Mossberg.
Yeah.
On Sundays, we would do some hits, and I surprised myself because, I was 3 months deep into this and 3 sessions. And I'm like, holy, it would suck to get out of bed sometimes. And I'd go into practice, but the craziest thing is, you get tired from working out, but I'd go in there and I'd feel 10 times better walking out. I don't know
Yeah.
if it's the toxin, getting rid of and stuff, but I would feel 10 times better just because I enjoyed it. It was an outlet of something other than sitting in a boxed office chemo room.
Yeah.
So, that kept me pushing because like I said, he said I wouldn't be able to do anything. You know, I'd be bedridden for months on end, and I was still working out every day. No matter if I, looked super swollen and huge, I was still working out every day. So
That's
kept pushing
crazy.
myself.
That's awesome. That's a crazy story, and it's super awesome though that you've been able to do this. I mean, you got a fight coming up, but next, what kind of advice would you give to others who are going through a similar challenge? I mean, they're fighting their own battles with cancer. You just happen to be a fighter and you're wanting to push towards it, especially those who are passionate about combat sports like MMA. What advice do you have for them?
You know, I feel like a lot of people struggle when things get negative. They just continue to let them get negative instead of going, I can make a better situation out of this. I can make it a more positive outcome. And I really do think, I don't, I'm not saying working out makes everyone happier, but it really does make, it makes you feel better about yourself. The serotonin, a lot higher. So I
Yeah.
would say for people going through it to, stay positive. And as soon as you get down, like I got down a couple times, I'm like, this sucks. Like, I was supposed to fight, I was supposed to do all this stuff. And then it ends up working out for the better either way. And so, keep pushing, like give yourself some goals to reach, because when you're going through all of it, most people I met were thinking like, oh, this sucks. This is, my life is miserable, everything negative. And I'm sitting here going, well, I get to go to practice on Sunday. I get to go do this. I go do this as soon as I'm out of here. And, life throws stuff your way. So why let it control you? And I always tell
Indeed.
people that a lot of people say like, well, cancer ruins your existence. I'm like, well, exist in the world while you can, because
Yeah.
you never know what life throws at you. So, for MMA fighters, I've actually seen a couple that have gone through the same experience, and which is very rare. And like our biggest thing is you want to do something that, you feel you have power and control over.
Yeah.
And so I like is, you don't have control over the fact that you get cancer, and you can't, and it takes the power away from you, it takes your hair and all that stuff. But the one thing you can control is how you feel and what you do with your life and what you do to make yourself feel better. So when I'm on the mats or in the room doing mitts, I feel like myself, and, I push everything out of the way, and that's all I'm thinking about. So I would tell everyone that's going through stuff like that to, don't be so negative. There's positive on the other side. The grass does get greener. And, like I said, everyone's like, wow, life's so great now that, you're gone, you're done with all of it. You still, we still have tons of stuff that we do. You don't just do it and it's over.
Yeah.
It's an ongoing thing. It ruins your body. It's complete poison. And that's what Ryan all the time is like, man, it's impressive because, I'm just going, going, going. And I don't really have a stopping point either. So it probably doesn't help my body. But, you get tired, but you just got to push through it, because if you let it drain you, it takes the power out of everything. And so
Absolutely.
just keep on keeping on.
Yeah. On top of that, you say keep on keeping on. What impact do you hope to make in the MMA world now that you've overcome such that significant of an obstacle?
Beforehand, I wrestled for years, and I was the first girl wrestler at most events in Oklahoma. And I kind of I had the first Division I full ride for women's wrestling.
Wow.
And so, and I'd only guys years prior to that. So, I set a big example for girls, and that, that makes me feel good knowing that I can push them to do something that everyone says, women can't do.
Yeah.
And going forward with MMA, I think that it's a big impact, because you see a lot of people that deal with a lot of issues in life, no matter if it's cancer, no matter if it's the death of a family member or something going on in their life. I look at it as not even if they want to do MMA, you could do something, but find something that makes it more positive, find an outlet that brings positivity to your life and, lightens your mood. That's what I try to explain to people. It's, do I want to work out every day? No. But as soon as I get out of there, I'm like, man, I feel good.
Yeah.
So I hope to impact on people's lives, and the fact that you really don't have to let life get you down. That's, you control that. No one else controls it. You could have negativity around you, but at the end of the day, you go to bed, laying yourself down, you lay yourself to rest. No one else does. You make the decisions you make. No one makes them for you. So I just really hope to make an impact on people's lives, that, you can keep pushing forward and life does get better. And even if it doesn't, still try.
Yeah. That's awesome. And then lastly here, before we get to your match information, and what message would you like to convey to your fans, supporters, fellow fighters who've kind of been inspired by your journey of overcoming cancer and the context of your MMA career?
Well, first off, thank you to everyone because, what's crazy is a lot of my sponsors, they supported me not only in May when I fought, but I had some big sponsors also support me through chemo, and they made donations out of nowhere. The Bridgeways, they own a nutrition and supplement company. Great people. They supported me all along, supported my fight. And that's the thing is, a lot of my fans, my family, my sponsors, they didn't just support my fight in May, but they support my my whole time fighting cancer, and now they're supporting me again. Going through the journey and my comeback for this fight. So I'm very thankful to everyone, but I just want to let everyone know that the doctor's not right, that I will fight again. And so someone can make sure to tell them that I am fighting November 4th.
You going to give him a ticket?
Oh, I will. I'll send one to him. I see him once a month or whatever. So,
Hey, it's like,
if not twice a month, whatever it is.
but yeah, speaking of that, you guys can catch her fight November 4th, Kansas City, Kansas for Synergy. And what event center will it be at?
I believe Memorial Hall, Kansas City, Kansas.
Okay. Memorial Hall. All right. Y'all go catch her, catch this story. Man, go support her, help her out even more. I mean, benefits from the tickets too. So make sure when you do buy those tickets, you put your name on it, right? I believe that's how you do
sir.
it. So yeah. And well, we appreciate you coming on. Amazing journey. Awesome story. Congratulations on everything, and I hope it continues to go well. And yeah, we'll be praying for you and everything.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah. Great stuff out of her. Look forward to her fight in November. It's going to be rocking up in Kansas City, Kansas, and heck of a journey. Looking to see a positive outcome there. It's going to be awesome to watch. That's a great story. And well, on that, we now head to the 2-minute warning, brought to you by Hot Stone Pizzeria. Not feeling like cooking this weekend? Go grab some pizza by the slice over there. And yeah, Wednesday through Saturday, and it's a good weekend to do so. Football weekend, got a lot going on. Chiefs game, college football. We'll get it going. Let's get those picks, and yeah, here's our timer. We'll finish it this time, and yeah, last week it went out on us, so it didn't come on. But anyway, 3-2 Joplin at Republic. Who you got?
Joplin.
I'll go Joplin. Webb City at Willard. Who you got?
Webb.
Should I say Webb? I don't know anything about this group, so I'll say Webb.
I'll go Webb. CJ at Nixa. Who you got?
CJ.
Okay.
I'll go Nixa.
I'll take Nixa here. They're 5-0. So, Neosho at Branson. Who you got?
Neosho.
Easily, yeah.
Oh, and 5 Neosho defeats Branson. All right, I'll jump on that wagon.
Easily Neosho.
I'll jump on that.
500 yards
Carthage
rushing.
at Ozark. Who you got?
Carthage 2.5.
I have no idea. Let's go Carthage.
Yes.
Okay. I'll take Carthage here. They're on a winning streak. 23 Mizzou heads to Vandy. Who you got?
Zoo. Hook 'em Zoo.
It kills me, but I'm gonna say Mizzou.
Yes.
M-I-Z. Arkansas hosts Texas A&M. Who you got?
A&M.
Arkansas.
A&M for me as well. MSSU heads to UCO. Who you got?
Is this football?
Moso.
Yeah, I'm
This
going
is a
Mosa.
question.
I'm going Mosa.
I'm going UCO.
Okay. NFL Chiefs head to the Jets for prime time. Who you got?
Chiefs.
Yes.
Chiefs
Okay,
here.
Chiefs.
Monday Seahawks Giants. Who you got?
Giants.
I'll go Seahawks.
Answer's invalid. Clint got his in. I didn't get mine. You
Yes.
didn't get yours. So
So we'll
2
calculate these at
minutes
the end.
down. Is that like Bevo or whatever going down? I don't know.
Yeah. And I
Texas
can't
has a fun matchup too, but
I can't emphasize enough. Neosho is going to slaughter Branson. I have no opinion on that team.
well, on that note, we'll catch y'all later. And music's here, and so is the end of another episode. See y'all next week on the Sports Timeout podcast.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.